Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dane, your host. I hope that you are doing great wherever you may find yourselves, and blessings to all of you wonderful people out there. And welcome to another installment of my little mini-series where I talk about my top 10 favorite live album discographies of all time. This is slot number 3, so we're getting there. And this is a solo artist, not a band, and I'm talking about the wonderful, absolutely wonderful Neil Young. This is an example of where you get the best of both. You get the best of both worlds, and that is there is both quantity, and in that domain of quantity, it's all quality. It's not everything in his live album discography, but it is a lot. And remember, these individual videos are to talk about what I think are, just in my humble opinion, if you're new to this little series, what I think are the essential must-own live material in said discography. So let's get started. And it's not ranked; it's just presenting them. Sometimes chronological. Most of this is Most of this is chronological, but I may be off by one or two entries, if you will. So the first one is Sugar Mountain Live at Canterbury House, 1968, released December 2008 and recorded November 9th through the 10th, of course, 1968. You also get a Blu-ray or DVD of the performance, which I have not watched yet. I just got this about 2 months ago. I've heard it before, and when I first heard it, when it first came out, I was like, yeah, I got to get this, and I found finally a used copy. And what's kind of really cool about this is that you got a lot of his early stuff, because it's so early in his career as a solo artist. But he has this wonderful banter with the audience between each song, or almost each song. And my favorite is when he talks about how, and you can tell from the picture, how he just keeps growing his hair. I'm just going to keep growing my hair longer and longer, he says. And yeah, I was right there with you, Neil, when I graduated from high school, and it was really long at one point. But I digress. So what you get is and this is so stupid. This is one of the things I talked about in a previous video about live album expectations. The first track is just the MC introducing Neil. Just make that part of the first song, but the first song is On the Way Home. Then you have what I was talking about, the raps. That is the banter between himself and the crowd, which I won't talk about here. Other than that, then you get Mr. Soul, Expecting to Fly, The Last Trip to Tulsa, The Loner, Birds, Winter Long, and Out of My Mind. Just the intro. Out of My Mind comes next. If I Could Have Her Tonight, Sugar Mountain intro, then Sugar Mountain. I'm not sure why that's 2 tracks. I've Been Waiting for You, Nowadays Clancy Can't Even Sing, The Old Laughing Lady, and closing with Broken Arrow. There are 23 tracks in all, but 6 or 7 of them are the rap. So it's not between each song, but there are a lot of them. I do like his bookstore rap as well. So check this out. Wonderful, wonderful album. Now this next one is, I'm not sure if it's my favorite, but it is one of my favorites of, I think, the 20 or so I'm presenting here. And that is this, Live at the Fillmore East. Great album cover. Often Miles Davis would open for, well, not often, once in a while Miles Davis would open for Neil Young, and that is here. Although we don't have the recording of Miles here. You can get that on his own live album discography. Of course, Danny Whitten is here. It's a wonderful release, November 2006, recorded March 6th through 7th, 1970. There are only 6 songs, but wow, what a great array of 6 songs. Talk about energy, vibe, the whole live spiel with respect to what you want from a live recording. 2 of the reasons this is so wonderful and why you get this is because Down by the River is stretched to 12 minutes and 24 seconds, and Cowgirl in the Sand, 16 minutes and 09 seconds. Unfortunately, Cinnamon Girl is not here, even though it was part of the set list, but I do believe you can get that on the Archives Volume 1 box set, which is still in print. Hope to get that one day. I just have the Volume 2. But yeah, this is a wonderful, wonderful, great. I love these album covers like this. Think of Elton John, Don't Shoot Me, I'm Just a Piano Player. Anyway, great live album. Speaking of great live albums, here is a live recording from the Cellar Door, and of course Miles played here as well, the Cellar Door sessions. Okay, released December 2013, but recorded November 30th through December 2nd, 1970. I'm sorry, I wanted to go back to this and tell you what the song lists are besides the two that I mentioned. Everybody knows This Is Nowhere, Winter Long, Down by the River, Wonderin', an early version of that. Come On Baby, Let's Go Downtown, and Cowgirl in the Sand. So 6 tracks, I can tell you what those are. Short and sweet. Okay, back to Live at the Cellar Door. Tell Me Why, Only Love Can Break Your Heart, great live version. After the Gold Rush, Expecting to Fly, Bad Fog of Loneliness is wonderful. Old Man, Birds, Don't Let It Bring You Down, See the Sky About to Rain, Cinnamon Girl, I Am a Child, Down by the River, Flying on the Ground is Wrong. That wonderful song to close things out. And then you get a little gatefold here. Neil with his very long hair, as I said, still in that stage of his life and his career. Like I said, all of these albums are must-own in my opinion. Next is Live at Massey Hall. Released March 2007, recorded January 1971. It's a solo acoustic performance, the Journey Through the Past solo tour. Some of the tracks are On the Way Home, Old Man, Journey Through the Past, of course. Helpless is wonderful here. A Love in Mine, A Man Needs a Maid / Heart of Gold Suite, Cowgirl in the Sand, Don't Let It Break You Down. The Needle and the Damage Done is here as well. Ohio, one of the reasons you get this. See the Sky About to Rain, Down by the River, and ending with I Am a Child. I Am a Child. There are other songs here, but this is totally worthwhile having. Live at Massey Hall. Next is Carnegie Hall 1970. 2 CD set. Some of the tracks are Down by the River, Cinnamon Girl, The Loner, Wonderin', Southern Man is here, Sugar Mountain, Only Love Can Break Your Heart, Old Man, After the Gold Rush, Flying on the Ground is Wrong, love this version, Cowgirl in the Sand. Anytime you get Cowgirl in the Sand and Cinnamon Girl in the same live recording, big thumbs up. Birds, Bad Fog of Loneliness, Ohio is here as well, great version. See the Sky About to Rain, and ending with Dance, Dance, Dance. This is wonderful. All right, next is Live at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, aka I'm Happy That Y'all Came Down. Released 2022, recorded in 1971. It's hard to close sometimes. Okay, so only 15 songs, 1 CD affair, but it's very good. Some of the tracks are Old Man, Journey Through the Past, Cowgirl in the Sand, Heart of Gold, A Man Needs a Maid, Sugar Mountain, Don't Let It Bring You Down, Love in Mine, The Needle and the Damage Done, Ohio, See the Sky About to Rain, and ending with Dance, Dance, Dance. There are other songs, a couple there that I didn't mention, but yeah, this is great as well. Royce Hall 1971, released 2022. 16 tracks, On the Way Home, Tell Me Why, Old Man, Journey Through the Past, Cowgirl in the Sand, Heart of Gold, A Man Needs a Maid, See the Sky About to Rain, Sugar Mountain. Some other tracks are Ohio, The Needle and the Damage Done, Down by the River, closing with I Am a Child. Back cover here. Worth having. Next is Citizen Kane Jr. Blues, released 2022, recorded 1974, recorded at the bottom line, hence the back there. This is wonderful, only 11 tracks. Like some of his album here, in his early days, he would close with Dance, Dance, Dance. That is the same thing here. It opens up, however, with Push It Over the End. Then Long May You Run, a nice treat to have that here. Then Green Sleeves, Ambulance Blues, Helpless is wonderful here. Revolution Blues is here. On the Beach. Roll Another Number for the Road. Motion Pictures, Part of My Heart. And as I said, Dance, Dance, Dance. So you got quite a few songs from On the Beach is why you get this. So kind of On the Beach live, but not in its entirety. Wonderful. Okay. Next is Young Shakespeare. Sorry. Let's see. Did I... Yes, let's see. Sorry about that. Yes. Sorry. Young Shakespeare. This is recorded at the Shakespeare Theater in Connecticut, released 2021, recorded in 1971, 3 days after the Massey Hall gig. Again, this is from the Journey Through the Past tour. You get Tell Me Why, Old Man, The Needle and the Damage Done, Ohio. Some other songs are Cowgirl in the Sand, Man Needs a Maid, / Heart of Gold medley, Journey Through the Past, Helpless, Down by the River, and closing with Sugar Mountain. Really nice treat to have. Next is Time Fades Away, released October 73, recorded February 11th to April 1st, 1973. Country rock and hard rock, or quasi-hard rock here, Reprise label. Now Love in Mind on here was recorded much earlier, and this, of course, is the Harvest Tour 73. But all the tracks here are new. So it's a live album, but as I said many times before, or a couple times before on other videos that I've done, this is a live album, but I throw it in when I ranked my studio albums because it's new songs. So it's kind of a hybrid in that sense. So live recording, but new songs, wonderful, must own. The tracks are short and sweet. Time Fades Away, Journey Through the Past, Yonder Stands the Sinner, L.A., Love in Mind, the font is horrible. Don't Be Denied, the bridge, and ending with Last Dance. Yeah, wonderful. Okay, short and sweet, but wonderful. All right, next comes Tuscaloosa, Memorial Coliseum in Alabama, released June 2019. Recorded February 73, also the Time Fades Away tour. It's not the whole show, unfortunately, because they didn't record it all for some reason. What a shame. But you get here we are in the years after the gold rush, Out on the Weekend, Harvest, Old Man, Heart of Gold, Time Fades Away, Look Out Joe, New Mama, Alabama, and Don't Be Denied. So this is a nice companion piece to this. You can take these two and make it into one playlist and just, take the songs out that repeat. This is a nice, again, affair to have. So Tuscaloosa, which came out 6 years ago. All right, next is a fan favorite of mine, Roxy Tonight's the Night, released April 2018, recorded September 20th through the 22nd, 1973, at the Roxy, of course, the famous LA club, the Roxy Theater, on the Sunset Strip, which would later go on to be the place, the house, if you will, for hair metal bands like Rat, Motley Crue, and Hanover Rocks, and the whole gamut, LA Guns, that kind of thing. So yeah, Tonight's the Night, Mellow My Mind, World on a String, Speaking Out, etc. It's the entire album, Tonight's the Night, recorded live. But Tonight's the Night's not the last song. Instead, you have Walk On for some reason. But anyway, worth having as well. Now this next one is a personal fan favorite of mine, if not my favorite. It's I don't want to say it is, but if you had to put the proverbial sword over my head, then yes, it's my favorite, and that is Somewhere Under the Rainbow, 1973, released April 2023. So recorded in 1973 at the Rainbow Theater, another famous theater. November 5th is when the date was, on the Tonight's the Night tour as well, and wonderful gatefold here. And if I may read something that I'm glad was included here, from, I'm not going to read it all, but from Pete Long, the engineer and person involved in the mastering and what have you, I believe, the production. He says, "The more I talk, the more I play. A lot has been made of the show, most of it negative. He was wasted. Nobody knew what the hell they were doing. They played sloppy, etc. And to a certain degree, that's all true. But at the same time, it's wrong. This was not some haphazard occurrence by some overloaded, effed up. This was deliberate, methodical, in-your-face pushing of the envelope by someone trying to understand their own pain and confusion and get you to think about how fragile our lives and relationships are, etc., etc. The mission of this performance." And that's what makes this so genuine, a live performance, and one of the reasons I love live music, because there's a certain energy that's captured in the moment, and you get it all here. Again, Neil dealing with his pain after losing two of his friends. So you get Tonight's the Night, Mellow My Mind, World on a String, Speaking Out, Albuquerque, New Mama, You Know the Drill, all the Tonight's the Night songs. But on disc 2, you get Flying on the Ground is Wrong, Human Highway, Helpless, Don't Be Denied, and Cowgirl in the Sand to close things out. A wonderful, wonderful album. Yes, my favorite. I'll say it now. My favorite live album in everything I'm presenting out here today. All right. Next we get Live Rust. Let me go on record and saying this is from the Rust Never Sleeps tour. I'm not including that album because while it's mostly live and then overdubbed in the studio, there are some studio stuff on Rust Never Sleeps, so I'm not including that in this collection, but it is worth own live/studio album. Live Rust, released November 79, recorded October 78. Reprise Records. This is an anthology in the sense that all the songs were culled from 5 different venues, including the Boston Gardens and the Chicago Stadium. And what's weird is that the stage announcement here is from Woodstock for some reason. But anyway, Sugar Mountain, I Am a Child, Comes a Time, After the Gold Rush, My, Hey, Hey is great here. When You Can Dance, I Can Really Love is wonderful here. The Loner, The Needle and the Damage Done, Lot of Love. It's a good version here. But my least favorite song on this album, Sedan Delivery, is wonderful. Powderfinger is here. Cortez the Killer is one of the reasons you get this. Cinnamon Girl, Like a Hurricane, Hey Hey My, Into the Black, and ending with Tonight's the Night. This is perhaps one of his best set lists of all time. Again, the whole live experience, 16 tracks, but you get both versions of My, Hey Hey. You get something from Tonight's the Night. You get, like I said, Cinnamon Girl, Cortez the Killer, Like a Hurricane, and Needle and the Damage Done. The only thing I would do different is I would replace the I would either replace the Loner or Lot of Love with not Cinnamon Girl's already here. I lost my train of thought. It's another song from his first or second album. But anyway, this is why you get this. This is a wonderful album to get. Live Rust. All right, I got a sneeze coming on. Excuse me. No, I lost it. All right, next is Way Down in the Rust Bucket, released February 2021, recorded November 1990. This is a critic's darling of a live album. These digipacks, boy, really get me going sometimes with the creases and the imperfections and the bends and that kind of thing, and hard to close if you don't shift the CDs right. Anyway, disc 1, Country Home, Surfer Joe and Mo. Excuse me, let me start over. Disc 1, Country Home, then Surfer Joe and Mow the Sleeves, Love to Burn, Days That Used to Be, Bite the Bullet, Cinnamon Girl, Farmer John, Over and Over, Danger Bird, Don't Cry, No Tears, Sedan Delivery. Disc 2, Roll Another Number for the Road, Effin' Up, T-Bone, then Homegrown, Mansion on the Hill, great version. Like a Hurricane Follows, great version. Love and Only Love, and ending with Cortez the Killer. How cool is that to end the live set with that? Yes, a critic's darling, and also a wonderful live album in my estimation. Of course, recorded in November 1990, so we're dealing with perhaps Neil Young, Crazy Horse in their prime. So, perhaps. Okay. Next is a 3-disc affair, sort of. We get the wonderful, I don't know why these were packaged separately, but you get the wonderful Weld, and then the companion that came out afterwards is Arc. I'll talk about that separately. But just go ahead and read the tracks. You get Hey Hey My, Into the Black, Crime in the City is wonderful, Blowing in the Wind, Welfare Mothers, Love to Burn, Cinnamon Girl, Mansion on the Hill, and then Effin' Up. Disc 2, Cortez the Killer, Powderfinger, Love and Only Love, Rockin' in the Free World, Like a Hurricane, Farmer John, Tonight's the Night, and Roll Another Number. So what's wonderful about this, like some of the previous things, is that you get a nice collection of, or mixture of, old and new at the time, if you will. Again, perhaps because it's the 90s, you have Neil Young and Crazy Horse in their prime, perhaps in their prime, maybe a little later, maybe a little earlier, all depending on your point of view. But what's cool is What's also cool is this is heavier versions of songs that weren't heavy in, other recordings from other studio albums or other live versions of these. I had a chance to go see Neil perform here in New Orleans, and I screwed up because of a work issue, and so I had to work. And one of the patrons that came in, who I became friends with, said that it was amazing, and I believe him. And you can see from both covers are the same, just one colored in black, the other one black and white. But you can see, sorry for the glare, you can see how much fun Neil is playing that. It just looks heavy, from the image here, and I'm sure it was. And then if we talk about Arc, not quite a good gatefold here, but it's just one 35-minute track, which is essentially Neil Young jumping on the bandwagon. In this case, it's a good thing, of the likes of the experimental rock phase that's going on in music in the 90s, the Sonic Youth thing and other things. I don't know if Neil Young knows the band Swans. I'm sure that he does, but I don't know if he's ever listened to them. But he's familiar with Sonic Youth, of course. And so it parallels what Sonic Youth is doing at this time, sort of, in other experimental noise rock bands of the day. So what you have here is feedback, guitar noises, besides feedback, improvisation from different parts of his tour, and then collated or mixed together, or edited together, rather, to make one song. So it's not just one song, it's a collage of things brought together, and there's sparse vocals, again taken from various shows, then reworked, spliced, edited, etc. for the 34 or 35 minute epic track. I think it's worth having. I think this is much better than Lou Reed's Metal Machine, or whatever that's called. Much better than that. Love this album. Neil kind of looks like the Joker a little bit here. Anyway, he looks like the Jack Nicholson Joker with long hair a little bit there. So the godfather of grunge, doing just that with experimental noise rock. All right, next is Unplugged, released June 93, in the heyday of MTV perhaps, or maybe a little bit after that. Recorded February 93. Another great collection of songs: The Old Laughing Lady, Mr. Soul, World on a String, Pocahontas, String Man, Like a Hurricane is wonderful. All acoustic, of course. The Needle and the Damage Done, Helpless, Harvest Moon. Then you get the wonderful acoustic version of Transformer, much better than the studio version. Transformer Man, then Unknown Legend, Look Out for My Love, Long May You Run, and then From Hank to Hendrix to close things out, Unplugged. This is my least, the next one is my least favorite, but I like it enough that I have to include it here, and that's Before and After. Released December 2023, recorded July 2023. And this is all solo acoustic reworkings of past songs recorded during his coastal tour. I'm the Ocean, Home Fires, Burned, On the Way Home, If You Got Love, A Dream That Can Last, Birds, My Heart, When I Hold You in My Arms, Mother Earth, Mr. Soul, wonderful version, Comes a Time, wonderful version, and Don't Forget Love to close things out. Produced by Lou Adler and Neil Young. A little gatefold action going on there. And as I said, it's not my favorite here, but it's worth including because it's approaching very good, and so it's worth having here. Next is F and Up. Released April 2024, recorded though November 2023. This is again, Neil Young and Crazy Horse in their, grunge period, if you will. When the Sky is Clear, A Chance on Love, Broken Circle. Other songs include, but not all of them are, Late One Night, Highway to the Gun, Walking in My Place, Follow One's Dream, Take a Chance, Daylight, etc. This is quite good, so got to include it here. And then finally, this next one is good, not great, but again, I'm including it because I think this is worth having, and it's good enough that you're going to return to it over and over, and that's the most recent live album, the Coastal soundtrack for the documentary film, which is about Young's coastal tour that I just mentioned. So both of these are Coastal, excuse me, yeah, both of these are Coastal Tour CDs. They're nice companion pieces. This was released April this year, 2025, and the recording, though, was July 23rd. And at first I wasn't going to get this because, like, yeah, I have all these songs, I think, or most of them live already, but I don't think I have Vampire Blues anywhere else, so I pulled the trigger and bought it, and I loved everything, or close to love everything here. It's good, as I said. So I love it because it's good. That's kind of an oxymoron. It's not great, but again, it's worthwhile having. I'm the Ocean, Comes a Time, Love Earth, Prime of Life, Throw Your Hatred Down, Vampire Blues is wonderful here. When I Hold You in My Arms is great. Expecting to Fly is wonderful. Song X, I Am a Child, and Don't Forget Love. So overall, the album is good because while there are some stellar, amazing, excellent tracks here, some of them are just good, and then some of them are amazing. So it's a hybrid of good and amazing tracks. Worth having, though. So that wraps up this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider hitting the like, notification, and subscribe button. See you next time. Bye now.